Hey everyone, it's Gerg again, bringing you another Dawn of War 2 shoutcast, which I'll probably end up putting up along with my other two, but anyway, for now we have a game that's supposedly going to be, or is up for a Hall of Fame vote right now, between the Cokk of Eli and Blast and Heat, being because I'm own on the forums and udayan on the forums respectively between the two. So let's jump right into it, shall we? And here we go. So the map being Outer Reaches. Yippity-doo-dah. Farseer versus Plague Champion. I really need to get I always have the helmet mod on, and then when the next patch comes out, I always forget to put it back in. And yeah, even though it's been like weeks since the last patch, 2.5, but anyway. So have no helmet mods, I'm sorry. You'll have to stare at his ugly mug and her ugly mug. Anyway, pretty standard start from both players with a Space Marine and a Howling Banshee squad for the Eldar. Whoop-de-doo-dah. Both even going for an identical capping order, getting power first. Heretics are a little bit slower than the Farseer due to fleet of foot. And the Guardian's going to cap the middle wreck point, get forced off by the Chaos Space Marines. Okay, Plague Champion, which is interesting. Really you only see, well, okay, you see Plague Champion sometimes, but you really only see Chaos Lord mostly being played competitively now. No Sorcerer at all because his worship sucks and his shrines suck. But yeah, I'd really like to see more Sorcerer play. Or at least the Sorcerer made so it's playable. And in comes the Farseer, which is interesting. Ooh, I don't know. Crap. Used to be that the Farseer actually, just vanilla without any leveling up, was... Ooh, that's a dead Marine. Oh, come on. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Die, 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 die. How is that thing still alive? There we go. Nice bloody sink kill. Anyway, the Farseer used to be actually, at level 1, a better close combat specialist than the Warlock. Initially, I think she did more damage and had the same weapon skill. But the Warlock, when he levels, actually, those stats get boosted much quicker. Why are these Guardians smoking? Oh, it's the Plague Marine. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that effect. Whenever the Plague Marine shoots something, it gets all that green nastiness around it. So, from the get-go here, we have blue team, aka udayan, getting forced off pretty quick. Map control pretty much going to I'm own. Goes with a third Heretic squad. This is a very interesting opening. Usually you'll see a Heretic Tactical Marine and then another Heretic. That's normal, but going for a third Heretic really looks like he's really trying to capitalize on his early advantage and really not let the pressure up at all on the Eldar. We have a Shrieking Cannon platform coming out, which is pretty normal. Probably going to see grenades. There we go. Grenades on this Heretic squad. That's probably why you got them, actually. It was to counter the inevitable Shrieking platform, even though countering is kind of a, kind of misnomer. But anyway, they're very, very, very good against Shrieking platforms. And a Ranger coming out. Interesting. Interesting. I like Rangers a lot. Not only because they're... Ooh, there we go. We've got some Nurgle worship going down for apparently no reason. Because everything's at full health. I suppose just refute. And now when things would start losing health, they stop worshipping. But that's just to engage. Yeah, some nice damage by the grenade launchers. Not enough to force off the platform. But we can see a flank there by the T. No, we're not. Those Chaos Marines could have flanked it if they had so... Where did they go? Why is he pulling back his CSMs? Unless he wants to go use them to cap this bottom rack, but... He could have just... He was outside the firing arc. He could have just flanked them, meleeed the weapons team, then taken this VP. Instead of having to do all of this nice business with the Heretics. Heretics, does he have? No. The only squad he has... Okay, never mind. He has 2 Aspiring Champions. Interestingly enough, I think he might have bought a third, but it died. Perhaps to the Ranger. Which is probably what the Ranger is for, actually. And, yeah. Because there is really no stealth for Chaos, minus if you are playing as the Sorcerer. But yeah, so it's not for detection. It's most likely for sniping off those very expensive and very powerful Aspiring Champions. Obviously, it does have to be really careful because of how fastly Chaos can cause damage, and if they get caught by a blowing up Heretic Squad, that would be even worse. As they, of course, would be suppressed. Yeah, and the other thing about the Rangers is that it does force detection to come down on these heretics, which, ironically, they're really good against said detection. So this is a nice little econ drain there. Kazamon is spent a lot of power in Tier 1, actually, in terms of, well, not too much power. Grenade launchers and 2 aspiring champions. But still, that's more power than as usually you'll normally see in Chaos Tier 1, because Chaos Tier 1, it really kind of sucks compared to other Tier 1s. They really, really shine, as most races do in Tier 2, but all the same. Nice little barrage there on the Banshees. Delay them, they'll pull back. Does have the Plague Champion, gunning them down, and we do have a Bile Spewer out already. So we'll probably be seeing some nice nice power harass, because, yeah, the tables have turned now, and he can't get out of his base or see a Bilious Discharge go down, completely miss. Would have been pretty nice if it hit in the retreat path, but it didn't. We have Armor of Fortune and Ghost Helm. Interesting. You don't see Ghost Helm too much, partially because it's kind of expensive, and Spirit Stones are usually just a far better. Whoa, there's some pathing on that Farseer. Spirit Stones are usually just more useful. You can get. I mean, Rangers are good for sniping, which is in essence what Ghost Helm does. So you know, it's instant suppression, but only on a single unit. So I don't know. If I'm sure there's good uses to it. Armor of Fortune is always good, just to make the Farseer. I think it's the best of the armors in terms of health, regen, definitely. But also just using Fortune on the very squishy Eldar units never is a bad thing. So let's see here. Yeah, because I'm almost kind of breaking out a little bit more, and of course here come the invisible Webway Gate from the Eldar. So invisible, I can't even see it. As an observer, which is kind of weird. Oh, there we go. I'm an idiot. I thought it usually had at least an outline while it was warping in. Anyway, so we see the stealth/speed aura from the Farseer's Webway Gates, which actually in tandem with Rangers, even with a hollow field, you can pretty much make. I mean, the distance between this Webway Gate and when they're stopping stealth is more than enough to plop one down. I mean, you'll see that in placement with Webway Gates. People put them just within range of where they want to be stealthed. So if you're going for this VP, you put the Webway Gate somehow around here to give it the broadest area of effect in which you can run fast and be stealthed, which usually isn't a problem with Eldar. So we see Tier 2 coming out of Udayan, and a little bit of power harass in the middle. VPs are pretty close to being equal, a little bit of an advantage for because I'm owned from the outside here, but very quickly turning the other way as 464 to 410. And these heretics are going to get forced off. Plague Champion suppressed, but not. Trying to kite deal. Okay. Now he's got the slowdown on the Farseer, and she won't be able to do too much more here. There's a nice special attack. Trying to get the kill on the Aspiring Champion. The Bile Spear really doesn't do enough damage. Actually, compared to his initial weapon, doesn't do as much. And it's flamer damage, so it's a different damage type than normal piercing, but all the same. Ooh, we have a Warp Spider squad coming out, as is usual for Eldar. Mostly, actually, it's always funny for me to see these things getting built, because usually you see the Warp Spider Exarch and just the call-in in Tier 2, but anyway, now the Precious Red of Farseer definitely goes towards the Webway Gates rather than anything else. Oh, Seer Councils are fun, albeit kind of underpowered right now compared to other Tier 3 super units. I mean, they're a call-in, and they just melt to knobs, so although that's probably more the overpoweredness of knobs rather than the underpoweredness. And we have a full Eldar Armory Cloak, which pops up on the heretics. They disappear. Gonna pop a few more models, maybe? One more? Alright, get out of there with... Ew, wow. Oh, going for the whole kill, and not gonna get it with 14 hit points in the base. Oh, the Warp Spiders... Yep, they do. Alright, so they pop in and finish that off. Take a little bit of damage, but totally worth it. Full Heretic squad, just given by that assault force. That's so brutal as Eldar because, one, if you think from like a psychological standpoint, when you're playing against an army like this, you have touch Nurgle down on the heretics. I'm always amazed at how long people still. I mean, when this happens, just draw back. That's you just cede control of that area. It's gonna be fine. If he really wants to do damage, he's gonna have to follow you. But I'm always shocked at how often people just leave their units in, and they're like, okay, we can take through this, and then their banshees die, and they're like, oh, what happened? Well, you just stood there while you killed 8 heretics with touch of Nurgle on them, which was healing everything else. Anyway, so that was good play. Leaving one unit to tie it in the commander, the most durable, to tie up that squad will draw him back to all of his other forces. That's good play by udayan. But anyway, like the cycle just makes me think whenever I play against a Farseer that does something like this, is just the psychological aspect of it is like really unnerving. Because you have, I mean, one, Eldar are fast to begin with, but two, when you have all these webway gates all over the place, you never know when something's just going to pop up, even faster than normal. And you know, Eldar just being such a glass cannon, you know, race in terms of how much damage they can do so quickly between Banshees and Warp Spiders and Rangers. I mean, that's just, I mean, stuff, even one misclick or one focus in the wrong area, and you can just lose a whole squad to any Eldar, more so with, of course, the Farseer. So psychologically, it really kind of forces you to play a little bit more conservatively. You kind of have to, you'll tend to blob up a little bit more. You won't be sending out lone heretic squads, at least you shouldn't. But yeah, so again, the game's really looking pretty even here. Still a little bit of an advantage for in terms of actually a decent lead in terms of victory points for udayan, which is now on the chains. We have a Blood Crusher out for Because I'm Own, as well as Falcon. So we have a full 6 units of Eldar in Tier 2, which I really enjoy Eldar Tier 3. I think it's kind of underrated, especially with the Farseer. Why is this lagging so much? Hold on. Let's see if this helps. Back up. And back down. Okay, a little bit. Anyway, that's weird. Perhaps usually doesn't like that much. Yeah, so we do have Mark of Zinch out for these Chaos Marines with Eternal War and a champion, which makes them just horrifying. Yeah, that's, I mean, old Zinch Marines used to be pretty over the top, and now they're not until they get, well, and they're not over the top because of how expensive it is to fully upgrade them with Eternal War and the Mark of Zinch and a Aspiring Champion is just cost a crap load of money. So for how good they are, that's pretty cost efficient. Actually, really cost efficient in how good they are, how much damage they can deal out so quickly. But a fully upgraded squad like that with the extra member for health and damage, as well as Zinch and Eternal War, that really grows on itself. Any of those upgrades by themselves are underwhelming. Like, actually, Mark of Zinch itself doesn't do too much more damage, but when you get it with Eternal War, then it scales really rapidly. And of course, the Aspiring Champion is just kind of an added bonus. But, so now, udayan is a little bit forced off. Lost that engagement by far. Saw his Guardians go down, as well as his Farseer, as well as his Falcon tank. Which I actually really like the Falcon in that case. Again, just more speed and mobility, more protection against grenades. Okay. Only one heretic grenade launcher, but all the same. Did get caught by, I don't know if you saw that, but got caught by the Blood Crusher, and didn't last too long. Shuriken platform out, we've got grenades close by, so it won't matter too much. Unless they don't attack, in which case it will. There we go, got some Nurgle worship going down. What else? Still hasn't rebuffed the Farseer. We do have a fully outfitted Plague Marine now with fetid armor and Blight Grenades, so that's great. Blight Grenades are really great against Eldar, more so than another Warp Gate coming up right up here. Again, this whole area is now going to be able to be stealth/speedy within the Eldar's movement capabilities. But what was I saying? Saying something about, oh right, Plague Grenades. Unless, I mean, yeah, just the reason that they're so good against Eldar and why you'll see most Plague Marines get them is because Again, Eldar are squishy. They don't have much hit points per unit.